went from different perspectives. I'm sorry that I just rambled on that much about perspectives and whatnot, but generally it does take time. Learn what you can. Watch other people do it. Like, look up tutorials and whatnot with Adobe Lightroom, and it will come with you through time. And will really help you to appreciate more of your surroundings as well. And then from there, you can even bring it in a video and do work in there. And then, luckily, since going originally vacationing down to Disney, I spend a lot more time there now, being from the area. But it has always been something that I love doing, going to the parks and taking photographs. And that's where I'm very fortunate in my position now, being this content creator and covering the parks and doing all this, is I'm able to bridge my passions for theme parks and photography and video and give you guys entirely a dream project of mine. And this is something that I do where I literally have only gotten help externally for one video, and then someone submitted subtitles in for my other video. For videos, I would say it's the same thing with photography as well. Always go for that unique angle. And for videos, it's a big one to learning more about it and seeing what you can do with it. A good video I would recommend is my Hocus Pocus video, because my multi-angle from this past year, and I'm going to be bad, I'm going to skip this one for this time, and learning and going through there. And one thing I do tell people, especially with video, is always keep a copy of your master. So I still have all of my Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween video from this year, I think it is. Is it on this drive? It might be on this drive. Which this can also tell you something of how much I shoot. I got this hard drive in September of 2017. This folder is over a terabyte. This folder is currently at 1.37 terabytes since September 9th, which is something really, really insane. Fortunately, how my scheduling was and what I was able to do this year, I was able to do a second night of Mickey's Not So Scary. And good morning, Mr. Master. One thing that I try to make a staple on my channel, especially with videos of like shows at Disney, is watch a video or watch the show before, so you know what goes on, and from there you can plan out your shots in your head. So this one was the Raw Master, I think it was, or the Master, because I think I was talking to somewhat. Yeah, this was a different angle than what I normally shot. First time I shot at this angle. I'm trying to remember the angle, which is also fun in the world.
I seem to be inching forward.
Oh yeah, this was the midnight show. So where's my second show that night? My raw audio. Is that just photographs? Okay, yeah, that's photographs. So, oh, okay. So this one, that would be the second show. Yes, it is. I recently upgraded my tripod head at this time to a new one, which is where I was able to get what I think is one of my best shot videos here. Oh, close off, please. Where the one thing I really love in this video, if my stream possibly did not die. Did it die on me? No, it didn't die on me. Sweet, so it only died on my phone. Potentially. Let me reopen up my channel. on here. Give me 1 second. Okay, yes. So this was, and I'm gonna actually close up my music program. This is raw video I took from Hocus Pocus. And if you notice, because I know what Winifred's gonna do, because I have also seen the show way too many times to count, I start following her in the process, and now because my computer wants to be slow, because it's playing. Let me reopen this video. I'm playing 4K video back on VLC right now. Doesn't really kind of like me, so we'll do Media Player Classic. So, going back into this one. There we go, much nicer playback. It's always good to be able to watch what you like from the show and know what happens. It's like I knew to follow Sarah, and from what I learned in TV production was the, again, way of angles, which is why I went and followed her and not followed Mary and Winifred. Because I know that she's also going to have her own little solo bit here, so I'm able to work on that really quick. And you guys won't see any of this until right here. So from here, and the one thing you'll notice with Dr. Facilier is when he has his song, I only show him in my video when he's on the castle from, I would say 90, directly in front of him from the other side of the stage, zoomed in. And for that, that's where it really ties into, again, as much as I will emphasize angles, and I can do write-ups in the videos as well onto the site, but that is where I also bring in a lot of that. So, okay, here we go. It would have been this one. This one I was a bit more on one side of the castle, but the way that I zoomed in for Facilier, I was able to bring in all of this video, and I just focus more on Facilier. Like, I'll follow him, but there because I was also blocked. I just keep my focus on the talent generally. And then for this, I know there's pyro, so I zoom out. But if it's actually, do I have my videos from even last year? I might. Or a good one would be Grinchmas. Where would all that be? Actually, here's my opening night videos. And again, I do shoot way too much video. Was this should be Hocus. This is an unreleased video, actually. This is actually an unreleased video. I didn't release this one because of all the cameras. But I was still doing test angles here. But I really didn't use anything like this at all. The only thing I could have used was this segment. And that was if I did do a multi-angle. And then I just zoomed in. And And the one reason why I was zoomed out was for their pyro here. But I totally forgot that they had the pyro. The fireworks, actually. Oh, crap. I didn't close this all the way. Whoops. Now my desk is laminated in a little bit of orange. So I tend to go multi-angle. But for like stage shows, the better you are, more closer to the stage, you can get much crisper shots, generally. But further back for fireworks shows. And the one thing I did with the fireworks show, like with this one, with the yeah, tank should preserve my desk. The one thing I did here, if you notice, is I zoom in onto the castle, and that's to actually lock the focus onto it, because I know how fireworks are. They're generally in the back. You'll notice I zoom in on the window, wherever the heck that would be. I zoom in to focus on it. And then from there, like, you can see like a security camera and some of the pyro stuff. But I just focus on it, I lock my focus in, and then from there, I won't have any issues with the show now. But then again, there's other times where I do shoot different angles. Like, I do have a second angle of this one that I shot the second night I did it, because they only do this once a night. And I shot that one a bit closer to the castle. And this was just more to get a lot of the castle stuff. And I don't think I've released this one. And I just got this one more for the projections and for the cleaner audio. Which I would recommend to angle yourself 45 degrees away from the speakers, generally behind you. And for something like that, do I have the card plugged in? Hopefully. I don't want to blue screen my computer again. Even for fireworks shows, I would say go next to the speakers. Like I did for Epcot, because I am working on a Illuminations multi-angle. So this was just a quick setup that I did, that I've been working on. So for this one, I just keep it on the Earth Barge and the fountains. And the speaker next to me was broken at the time, so I have a lot more pyro sounds. And you can see how this is out of focus, and I'm just quickly trying to fix it. So I do a lot of forethought planning into my videos. And I do, like, increase the brightness where I can, where it's not affected. For something like this, I did bring a lot of that up. I don't... does that card have Happily Ever After? That should have it on there. Let's see. Yes, this does have Happily Ever After on there. If you guys ever want a very weird angle of Carousel of Progress, This is a very interesting angle of Carousel of Progress moving. This is just a little something fun I shot one night. But going back to what I said even about like Happily Ever After, I had speakers near me. They were about 6 feet away. Well, if you do trigonomics and geometry, they were about 15 feet away at about a 40 to 50 degree angle. Oh, this is the wrong night. That's the wrong night I shot that one. Mr. Master, you would know that one. That's the one with the woman telling people to move forward and stay behind the line. 322 was it? Did I go to Epcot 322? Oh yeah, I did the night before. To Magic Kingdom. There we go. No, we do not need... I do not need you guys to hear my friend's name. So, I have speakers... I had speakers very, very close to me. And from there, that's how I get part of my audio mixes. So you guys can hear what the Happily Ever After one sounds like. With the show actually starting. With the show in-show volume. This is just the raw video.
And they all lived happily ever after. Each of us has a dream, a heart's desire. It calls to us. And when we're brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be.
Another thing that I do as well is I shoot with external audio recorders. That's just one thing that I've done for a while. And because of that, I have upwards, I think it is 8 different audio recordings of Happily Ever After. Where's my key drive that has all these? But just recently, I'm moving them over to my Mac laptop to edit audio on. But actually, that would be very good as a little thing for you guys to hear. So I'm going to unplug one of my drives, unplug my flash drive in. And I'll just open it up in Adobe Audition, or I'll do Sony Vegas. So you guys can hear the difference between the recordings as I take Drive H off. And when the key drive ever bothers showing up. The one thing, like, if it's a Disney show, I do look up show soundtracks to see if they have leaked. Because if they do leak, they're usually up on YouTube. And luckily, Happily Ever After had a demo tape of it leaked without sound effects. So from there, I generally work, and I will put in the hours to bring sound effects in as well. But the nice thing about using an external audio recorder is you have the ability... yeah, my drive's name is high. There it is, HEA Audio to Mix. And the master source mix is a leaked copy from YouTube without sound effects. That was one thing I'm lucky enough to find as well in my process. And then from there, I will work on the audio and do custom leveling until I deem it's fit. But even like if it's a general one, like the Happily Ever After entrance, I will still do levels with it, because I did do a leaked one. I did use the leaked one with my copy that's currently on this channel. And I think I spent about 20 hours in total mixing the audio and doing custom leveling for all of it. So for audio, I would say it is really good to have a very good ear to it. And being able to tell, like, if something's peaking or whatnot, and giving it a more natural, lifelike feeling. And keeping it so the person doesn't exactly know what exactly the audio is being used. Like, is it the camera? Is it a live recording? Like, is it from the camcorder? Is it from my external camera? Is it from... what would be a good one? Is it from, like, a CD? And generally, for something like that, yes. So, I will just run in here the aux 2 and the show soundtrack, because these should be timed up already from the way that I did the layering. Actually, no, we'll do aux 1, because aux 1 is the master and the aux 2 is the 12 dB down. Yes, I do it to make it sound realistic. I will also go and recreate audio if necessary. So for something like this one, I can tell you already that this audio is going to peak. So let me open up the view for mixing. View. Audio mixing. Thank you. I just tell you alone that it's going to be very loud. And you can really see the peaking in it. So even for this, I'll bring it down. And because I did use a camcorder that night, that was 320, no, that was, I'm going to use the separate aux that I have for it. Because that one I have the camcorder file right there. So even with the second one, this is what it would sound like.
And they all lived happily ever after.
So you can hear here that it has a very echoey feel to it. And because it has the echo feel, I'll bring in the camcorder
to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our
and
hearts,
I'll just do this for the sake of
the magic within.
myself being able to hear. I'll bring the audio down a bit, but you can still hear crowd. You can still hear the crowds in the background. And you can hear the fireworks, so I will also, like, because this show's soundtrack has fortunately leaked onto YouTube, I can implement that into it as well, but I will generally keep it a lower volume, so this is what it would sound like. And then from there, because I'm doing level-based work, sorry for all of this,
Each of us has
I will
a dream,
bring in the volumes for the narrator. And a good example of having it already panned out would be my YouTube file, which let me pull that up. It would be, because the way that I shot a lot of this, it should be this one. Potentially. No, it's not. This is a multi-angle. This is for another site that I did. I'm on a site called Mousebits, where generally around Christmas I'll also re-release my content that I shoot throughout the year. But but under a different name. So this one should be, yeah, this is Happily Ever After. With the show files offline, let me re-put that back on. But you can just see here the amount of leveling that's in it. And I do this to make it still sound natural. So once the drive is back on, let me replace the media with the drive from Drive H, or the content from Drive H. Alright, the drive is now engaged. So that is 6:15, 17. Okay, SD2, private, and for root, clip 3. So now, because I have it in the settings, this is what the YouTube copy sounds like, with it being extremely weird and not wanting to play. Why don't you want to play YouTube? YouTube settings 1. We'll reopen you. Welcome to what happens when you edit 4K video on a 6-year-old laptop. Okay. This should be working. Now, recreate file IO. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, por favor, very kindly. Ignore. So this is what this copy that you guys have sounds like. There we go. Just so you guys can see audio levels. There we go. So this is what it would sound like now. And I'll do this in stereo mode so you can hear the level difference.
Each of us has a dream, a heart's desire. It calls to us, and when we're brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we're meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our hearts and unlock the magic within. Ready to begin, let the wonder take hold.
So for a show like Happily Ever After, now when I bring this back into stereo, you can see how I try to make it sound as natural and realistic as possible. But the one thing you also do notice is I am very keen on how I want levels to go, because I'm one against loud music, so I try to keep it as low as possible, which is why you've noticed like -5 compared to 0 being ear blasting. But I do bring in elements of it for crowd ambience, and as well as bass and lifting up some low frequencies as well. And now, because I'm going into a silent section with Tiana, I lift up Tiana's volume as high as I feel like, well, as high as and as comfortable as I want to, and keep the crowd noise low.
So make a wish and hold on tight. There's magic in.
So there is a lot of work that I do behind the scenes as well for a standard YouTube release. A really fun one that I did, a fun one I think is over here. Oh yeah, like, a good one is the sound effect bit for Meredith or Meridia, or her name from Brave. I'm blanking on it right now. But there's a lot of sound effects in it. So I do bring them in. The sound effects are around here. Where a good one is, you can hear the horse clopping in the background, where the original, where my copy doesn't have it. Like such. So sometimes I do have to sacrifice it and give you somewhat of minor echo to do, but I try to keep it as real as possible, and the more sources the better in my opinion. And naturally you can see the video in the process. One fun part was, I think it was Aladdin. Aladdin I had to speed up a bit. This is a different audio take.
Trust me, having a best friend by your side opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
And because I have a feeling Aladdin wants to potentially kill this segment. You can just see the levels here, the blue lines. I'm going to close the video out so it doesn't kill off the whole segment. I'm going to change the color so you guys can see it. So I'll just play this whole segment, because this is always a good one to show too, like how even they do their own effects for a lot of this. And because it's going to end at a high note with some pyro, I bring in the guest noises back. Hello, Lori. Did the stream die again?
Some people are worth melting for.
It says it's live.
Say goodbye to the pain of the past. We don't have to feel it anymore.
And you guys can just see from here, this is just volume leveling.
Love is an open. It's not how shifted. All at once, everything is different now that I see you.
The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all.
And I can tell you, Corey, that for some of these, which you can see too, I did like a sudden drop in that volume level because you're at such a climactic point of this. You can just hear how I just really cut the volume down quick.
Blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all.
And when that ties into the other half there, the live half, because the live half is going to have a lot more going on, that's how it sounds more like being natural.
The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all.
And even for stuff like Minutas over here, because there's a lot more fireworks in there, I brought that up as well. But I'll try to bring the narrator up as high as possible.
Key to unlocking your own magic.
And Corey, some of the projects that I do are very extensive with even audio. Do I have my Universal Cinematic here? Let's see. Universal Cinematic. What do I even name it? That's a good question. I think a custom one? Or did I just call it Cinematic? This is my revised score of, or my revised editing of Universal Cinematic Spectacular, which is in a new folder, is it in this one? No, it's not. Is it in this one? It should be. Camcorder. Stream 83, is it? Yes to all. There we go. And then bring in on a new location. But I'm also used to editing off of hard drives. Is there a folder called USO to edit still? Yes, it is. And which one am I looking at? Okay, so that should be okay. This is a lot of work for one little thing. So there's another camera dump folder I have to go search after. Music 25. All of this for one video. And Lori, that's great that you're going to finally be able to see Happily Ever After. Let me insert, because I know this is a 1080p video, audio mixing, there we go. So you can see, Corey, this is just for Universal Cinematic Spectacular, the former Lagoon show at Universal. How many layers I put onto this video. And which one do I have isolated? There we go. And this is with a lot of edits in it as well. So if I follow, because the way that I did markings on it, and I'm just going to bring this should be fine. This is what it is. You can have my video. This is what it now sounds like going into its edited work here. Even with just all of these being audio tracks. What the video literally turns out to be. And this is something a lot of you guys never see. For a video like this, no, I just render all of these out in one file. It took, I think, 1 to 2 hours to render this whole video, and the video is like 23 minutes. It takes about 2 to 4 hours to render out a 4K project. I think the only one I muted was this. Yeah, this was the only one I muted. Or one of these. Whichever one's... This was the one I muted. There we go. So, I only ever muted the DSLR track. Because I was saying it sounded weird. Even to me. So this is like what it would sound like. But I only brought in the DSLR track after a certain point.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Universal Orlando now proudly presents
Universal Cinematic Spectacular.
Now proudly presents Universal Cinematic Spectacular.
And for this, I actually went and did a custom, really up-close live recording of that announcement. So this is what it sounds like.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Universal Orlando now proudly presents Universal
All to give it that
Cinematic
really nice,
Spectacular.
realistic feel.
100 years of movie memories.
And then from there, if I really just bring in the DSLR,
Letting us become anyone and do anything. There's no limit to the adventures we create or the excitement we share. We explore faraway lands, battle giant monsters, fly to new heights, and journey to new worlds of wonder.
but literally this is a remix I'm doing. The new one, the original one is still my preferred. I went back and I tweaked a few things from it. I think more in the show itself. But for this one, it takes a lot of work for it, and I still think that my YouTube copy is much better sounding than that one. But I also remixed that one for a friend of mine. It's like, hey, can you remix this for me? It's like, sure, why not? I'll take a crack at it. And I started working on it. It took several hours to bring in different audio and cut stuff out, because it does deal a lot with some of that work. And if Google Chrome would like to open for me, if you want to be kind and rewind, that would be fantabulous for me. There we go. Let's go to my channel. Yeah, I know my friend's live streaming right now. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, and Windows is borked again. The good. Oh, well, now it's 10:30 in the morning. And YouTube, why must you be coded horribly? YouTube is horribly coded right now. This is the copy that you guys have, which is, I think, one of my better mixes of it. And I shot this one, I think, a total of 5 angles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Universal Orlando now proudly presents Universal Cinematic Spectacular, 100 years of movie memories.
And this took a lot of tracking of the new Universal logo music that was for the 100th anniversary. It took about 3 hours to find a video of the composing session. Like, this part was shot on my DSLR, and then this part, the fade-in, was shot on my camcorder.
As children, we allow our imaginations to run wild.
taking us to incredible places, letting us become anyone and do anything. There's no limit to the adventures we create or the excitement we share.
And then I do also have my DSLR in there as well. And a handheld shot. Like, this is handheld from my camcorder. And now we're back to my DSLR.
The magic of film brings the endless possibilities of that imagination to life.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Houston, we have a problem.
You tell me you built a time machine for you?
So that was, again, also a lot of work. So it can take time to find the perfect blend of what you want to do, especially with the videos like that, because I do have here a whole playlist dedicated to multi-angle. Where is my multi-angle playlist? Multi-angle, there we go. Taking us immediately into Christmas, and this one is inside, so I'm very lucky I'm able to just do one deal with it, but I never really change it. So this one is a very straightforward editing. I already know what goes on in a lot of it, but then there's some like Voyage of the Little Mermaid where I do bring in other elements to it, which I do need to go back and refilm. They were nice enough to allow me to stand in the back along the wall with a tripod shot here on my DSLR and my camcorder up close. Little fun facts for all of these. Because I knew that they have lasers in this show, so I was able to guarantee shots. So that's how I was able to get, like, this up-close angle of Ariel.
I'm 16 years old, I'm not a child.
Don't you take that tone of voice with me, young lady.
There's untold how many wonders in God.
And then from there, still have enough for having the tripod shot here. This is all filmed at the same time. And which is really good too, because a lot of people like won't notice Ursula's laughing that they project in the back with lasers. Like I actually focused on a bit. Do I have any other fun stories with some of these? I'm the queen of all the ocean. This one was my... No, wrong one. This one was my first 4-angle video. I shot this one live, back to back. And this one was more the external audio recorder than with a mix of the DSLR and the camcorder. And this is the shot of just the stage. Like this is just a DSLR. The zoom out shots all the way are a DSLR, and then this is all handheld. But this one was another one of making sure that I don't do a lot of peeking because the show is loud. But one thing is, because of the bass, I did get rolling shutter or the jello effect. I can tell you guys, it's always a blast for the past to go back in time with some of these videos. And I think the last one before I go is I actually blind shot half of this. Like this one, I was more focused on my handheld because I know this whole segment, so the tripod shot was, I was just lucky enough to follow. So I'm filming with one hand, with my right hand, and my left hand is just on my tripod, just moving it. Like I zoomed out because I knew I wasn't sure what I was going to do immediately. But then that's why I start zooming in a bit. Plus he is very moving. So this is the handheld shot. And then I think I go to the DSLR shot. Yeah, right here's the DSLR shot, and you can tell that the difference. And that is all completely handheld, same show. Because this show has a lot going on in it. Let's see, wow, it's already 10:42. Actually, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining in my little surprise, what am I doing up 3 hours ago stream. There we go. I'll just take you guys my nice photographs that I shot a while back. But yeah, I thank you all for joining, and I hope you guys had this marvelous journey through 2 hours of photography editing, then an hour into my other work. And I am more than willing to show you guys more behind the scenes-esque videos like this and live streams to help you guys produce better content. Just let you guys know, I might be at Disney's Animal Kingdom later, so do expect a potential surprise live stream if I do indeed go. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I'm going to see if I feel like getting out of the house later today. Plus I have to go pick up my order at Walmart later. So there's also that. So thank you everyone for joining, and I hope to see you guys real soon, and have a nice day. I should have a video out tomorrow. I'm expecting that. And I should have the photography site up today or tomorrow. So see you later everyone. Have a good day.